We live in a time where nearly every moment is turned into content. Coffee shops, birthdays, sunsets, laughs, even pain disguised behind filters. But there's a certain group of people who remain invisible. They scroll quietly, notice everything, think deeply, yet rarely post anything. You probably know someone like that. Maybe you are someone like that. And people often wonder, why stay unseen when the entire world is desperate to be noticed? Most assume it's shyness or introversion, but the truth goes much deeper. Silence, for some people, is not emptiness, it's control. A choice over what the world doesn't get to access. Social media rewards appearance, noise, and performance. It pushes you to broadcast every moment to prove you're living a life worth watching. But the people who stay quiet, the ones who don't post, they often understand something most people miss. Life becomes clearer when you stop performing it. They think before reacting. They observe without interrupting. They feel deeply without turning those feelings into content. Psychology backs this up. People who post less tend to show stronger introspection, emotional independence, and self-restraint. They don't chase validation. They don't compare constantly. They don't need applause to feel worthy. They're not trying to prove themselves. They're trying to understand themselves. Most online posts are not communication. They're identity construction. Every photo is a silent question. Do you approve of this version of me? But when someone stops posting, something powerful happens. Their self-worth detaches from likes. Moments become experiences, not performances. They stop thinking in captions and start living in presence. For many, the choice to stay silent comes after burnout. They once shared everything, until it stopped feeling real. Life became a show, not a journey. So they stepped away, quietly, without announcements. But silence doesn't mean indifference. It often means they care more. About meaning, about authenticity, about protecting the sacred parts of their life. There's a concept in psychology called psychological ownership. The feeling that certain memories belong deeply to you. When you post them, that ownership fades. The moment becomes public property, open to interpretation, judgment, even mockery. So they guard their memories. They keep their joy private. They keep their pain protected. They choose depth over display. And maybe that's not withdrawal. Maybe that's freedom. Think about it. When was the last time you did something meaningful and didn't feel the urge to share it? That urge isn't natural. It's trained. A decade of dopamine hits conditioned us to measure worth through visibility. Breaking that cycle takes strength, and those who break it often rediscover things the rest of the world has forgotten. Cooking without photographing it, traveling without documenting it, feeling without explaining it. In those quiet spaces, they reconnect with themselves. Not the online version, the real version, but the truth is, not everyone who stays silent is at peace. Some are scared. Social media creates a subtle anxiety called self-presentational pressure. The feeling that you're being watched even when you're not. It's exhausting, especially for sensitive minds. They don't fear connection, they fear judgment. Ironically, the people who appear the quietest online often have the loudest inner worlds. They're not absent, they're overflowing. They just prefer stillness over spectacle. And in a world that screams, "Look at me," choosing invisibility becomes an act of self-definition. It's saying, I exist beyond your perception. They understand that the most important moments, the ones that shape you, don't need an audience. Growth, grief, healing, transformation. These happen in silence, away from the gaze of strangers. And when you've lived enough private transformations, you learn something powerful. Being unseen is not the same as being insignificant. It's often where your real identity forms. Social media was designed to connect us, yet many people who step back end up forming deeper, more meaningful connections. Why? Because they stop chasing digital closeness and start noticing who truly cares, who checks on you without reminders, who remembers you without posts, who asks how you are when you're not performing happiness. Those connections, quiet, warm, unfiltered, are the ones that actually matter. And silence teaches this. Silence reveals this. Studies show that people who take breaks from posting experience higher emotional stability and life satisfaction. Not because they disappear, but because they finally reappear to themselves. When you stop broadcasting every thought, you start hearing your own again, your fears, your desires, your intuition. You reconnect with the version of yourself the digital world drowned out. It's not disappearance. It's a return home. Of course, silence comes with doubts. There are moments where you wonder, am I falling behind? Do people even remember me? But eventually you discover something comforting. Your worth doesn't fade when nobody is watching. It remains steady, like the quiet hum after a storm. That's real confidence. Not the loud, showy kind, but the calm assurance that you don't need an audience to validate your existence. People say, if you didn't post it, did it even happen? But the moments that truly change you, the pain, the growth, the breakthroughs, rarely make it online. Those who stay silent understand that. They know authenticity is fragile, and not every part of your soul deserves to be fed into an algorithm. Some moments are too meaningful to be shared. Some emotions are too personal to be judged. Some transformations are too sacred to be public. So the next time you see someone who never posts, don't assume they're empty or hiding. Maybe they're just living. Maybe they found peace in places untouched by pressure. Maybe they remember what everyone else forgot. Being unseen does not mean being alone. Being quiet does not mean being empty. And sometimes the truest expression of who you are is silence. Because in the end, we weren't born to perform. We were born to live. Let's see a quick summary of what we talked about in this video. You understood that people who rarely post often feel life more deeply. They watch more, think more, and understand more. They don't need to share everything because their moments belong to them. And that makes life meaningful for them. And if you're comfortable, tell me in the comments, do you post less now compared to before? Thanks for watching. Share it with the one who posts the least. Then ask them if this is the exact way they felt. If they felt exactly the way I told in this video, then subscribe to ETERNOX.